Good morning, my friends, and welcome. Whether you're listening from your living room, driving down a quiet country road, or sitting on your porch with a warm cup of coffee, or simply taking a few moments to slow down before another busy week begins, I want to thank you for being here. Sunday has always been different. For many, it is a day of worship. For others, it is a day of rest, reflection, and spending time with family. Regardless of how you spend your Sunday, it offers something that the rest of the week often does not: an opportunity to pause. In a world that constantly demands our attention, constantly asks us to react, and constantly pulls us in hundreds of different directions, Sunday reminds us that slowing down is not laziness, it is wisdom. We live in one of the most technologically advanced periods in human history. We carry devices in our pockets that can access nearly all the world's information within seconds. We can communicate with someone on the other side of the planet instantly. Scientific discoveries continue to improve lives, and innovation continues to reshape our future. Yet despite all of these remarkable achievements, many people feel more anxious, divided, isolated, and uncertain than ever before. How can that be? Perhaps it is because the information alone does not produce wisdom, and knowing more facts does not automatically help us live better lives. The wisdom comes from learning how to apply truth with humility, and patience, and compassion, and good judgment. Throughout history, the civilizations have risen and fallen not simply because of the economics or the military strength, but because of the values they chose to embrace or abandon. Every generation believes it is living through an extraordinary time, and in many ways, every generation is right. Each era faces a unique challenges, and today we navigate the rapid technological change, political polarization, and economic uncertainty. Artificial intelligence, global conflicts, and the constant stream of opinions competing for our attention. Every headline seems designed to provoke an emotional reaction before we've had time to think carefully about the facts. And that is why truth has become so precious. Truth has never depended on our popularity. It has never been determined by who speaks the loudest or who has the largest audience. Real truth often requires patience. It requires asking difficult questions and examining the reliable evidence, listening carefully, and remaining willing to admit when we have misunderstood something. None of us possesses a perfect knowledge, and recognizing the limitations is one of the first steps towards wisdom. It is also important to recognize that we, in a world where institutions and governments, businesses, and individuals are all capable of making mistakes. History contains many examples of this corruption, abuse of power, and injustice. There are also countless examples of courage, reform, and people working to correct the wrongs. The lesson is not that everything is corrupt or that no one can be trusted. It is that accountability, transparency, and personal integrity matter because human beings are imperfect. Sometimes it can feel overwhelming, and it may seem as though dishonesty is rewarded while integrity is ignored. We may wonder whether telling the truth still matters when shortcuts appear to bring quicker success. Yet history has repeatedly taught us that societies are ultimately strengthened by honesty, responsibility, and trust. Families are built on trust. Friendships are built on trust. Communities depend upon trust. And without it, even the strongest institutions begin to weaken. This is why our personal character matters just as much. Character is not something we display only when life is easy. Character is revealed when no one is watching. It is choosing honesty when lying would be more convenient. It is treating people with dignity even when they disagree with us. and it is keeping our world even when circumstances become difficult. These quiet decisions rarely make headlines, but they shape the kind of people we become. One of the greatest temptations in modern life is allowing ourselves to become consumed by outrage. Every day there's another controversy, another scandal, another reason to be angry. While righteous concern for injustice has place living in a constant state of outrage, it can slowly rob us of our peace. It can distort our perspective until we begin seeing every person through the lens of suspicious instead of humanity. There is a difference between being informed and being consumed. Healthy citizens stay informed. Wise citizens are also known when to set up in a way to spend time with family and enjoy nature, read a good book, have a meaningful conversation, and remember that life is larger than the latest news cycle. If your faith is important to you, Scripture consistently points toward timeless virtues, truth, humility, and justice, mercy and forgiveness and self-control, and love for one's neighbors. These principles have guided the countless people through periods of war, economic hardship, political conflict, and personal tragedy. They remind us that while the world changes, certain values remain enduring. And even for those who approach life from a different worldview, many of these same principles continue to resonate. The honesty strengthens relationships, compassion builds stronger communities, and humility allows us to learn. Patience prevents the unnecessary conflict, and these are not merely religious ideas, but they are foundations of a healthy society. One of the greatest challenges we all face is the resisting the urge to see those who disagree with us as enemies. Democracies, healthy communities, and healthy families, they all depend on the ability to disagree without abandoning respect. The civil disagreement does not require surrendering deeply held convictions. It simply recognizes that every person possesses inherent dignity. This also means being careful before accepting the extraordinary claims. In the age of social media, the stories can spread around the world before they are verified, and sometimes the most responsible response is simply to wait. Gather more information and allow the evidence to develop. Patience protects us from becoming participants in misinformation rather than seekers of truth. And another lesson worth remembering is that fear has always been one of the easiest emotions to manipulate. Throughout history, the leaders, advertisers, media organizations, and countless others have understood that frightened people often react quickly. And that is why calm thinking is so valuable. Fear narrows our vision and wisdom expands it. And as you move through the coming week, remember that we cannot control every event taking place around the world. You cannot personally solve every crisis or correct every injustice overnight, but you can control how you respond. You can choose integrity when others choose deception. You can choose kindness when others choose cruelty. And you can choose careful thinking instead of impulsive reactions. Never underestimate the quiet influence of a good person. A parent who teaches honesty to your children, a teacher who encourages critical thinking, a police officer who serves with integrity, and a doctor who treats patients with compassion, a neighbor who leads on helping hand without expecting recognition. Now, these ordinary acts of goodness rarely become famous, yet they hold communities together more effectively than many realize. History is often remembered through famous names, but it also always has been shaped by millions of ordinary people quietly doing the right thing. If there is one thought I hope you carry with you today, it is this. Do not allow the imperfections of the world to harden your heart. Let them strengthen your resolve to live with greater integrity. Let them remind you that your character is something no one can take from you unless you choose to surrender it. Keep asking thoughtful questions, keep learning, and keep listening. Seek reliable evidence before drawing conclusions. And extend grace when appropriate, accountability when necessary, and compassion whenever possible. And above all, remember that hope is not naive. Hope is the decision to believe that our choices still matter, and every honest conversation, and every act of kindness, every commitment to truth, and every effort to improve ourselves contributes to something larger than we may ever fully see. Thank you for spending this Sunday with me. I truly appreciate your time because this time is one of life's greatest gifts. If today's reflection encouraged you, I hope you'll share it with someone you may need a reminder that truth still matters, and integrity still matters, and hope is always worth holding on to. Until next Sunday, take care of yourselves, take care of one another, keep seeking truth with humility and courage, and never stop striving to become the best version of yourself. May you have a peaceful week, a grateful heart, and the wisdom to recognize that even in an imperfect world, each of us still has the ability to choose what is good, what is right, and what is true. God bless you, and peace be with you. And as always, we'll see you in the next one. Have a good Sunday. Peace.